All right, that's enough. Hey, everyone. It's Rita from MISSRITA to the rescue. And today we're here for Cricut Chat. It's usually Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. This week we're only doing Monday to Wednesday, and we'll be back on Labor Day. But today and tomorrow, two big projects. Today's project is a 3D sunflower. Isn't this great? That comes from a project from Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to show you how to resize it if it's too big. For me, it was too big, and resize it, and then we're going to put this together. It does take a little while to put together, and you are going to need a glue gun. So be prepared when you want to make these. Now, I will give you my sunflower pattern with the resized one. Three size flowers. There's three size: small, medium, and large. And I will give you that. But if you want to start from like scratch, like we always do, this is how you would do it. You would go to this is the home page category. So let me just take this out. So this is all categories of the home page. You can get there by going to projects. See here, projects. Now these are only projects that were created for Cricut or by Cricut, okay? But there's thousands of them. They've been doing this for a very long time. And there's thousands, and there's like 24, excuse me, there are 24 subjects. They're all up here when you go to all categories. See all these subjects that they have, including holidays, Halloween, cards, something just for cards, and yet no 3D category. Okay, so if you want to see all the 3D patterns that are available to you as a Cricut Access customer, you just type in 3D, okay, under all categories, 3D, hit return or search button, and it will bring up literally dozens of 3D projects that you can try, even stuff for the holidays, stuff for packages. There's a lot of flowers. There's felt flowers. There are these lollipops things all here. And the pop-up cards are all here. So if you're looking for something 3D to do, then I would definitely suggest that you go and look under all categories 3D. So this is where I found the original project. And I'll be really honest with you. So here it is. I'm going to click on that. I can't find where this 3D flower comes from. So I can't tell you this comes from the image set entitled this, that, and the other thing. There are some image sets in Design Space that have some 3D flowers in them. And Ted, sorry. There are some images that are 3D, but this one doesn't seem to be attached to any you know what? I put Lola away, and it's Teddy talking. Ted, this is not a TED talk. Come on, let's go. And then of course they bark, and I reward them for barking. It's so stupid of me. Anyway, so getting back to what I'm saying. So this 3D flower is found in the project section, but I cannot, usually when you click on them, it will say images are from right down here, images and fonts used in this project, but clicking on that produces nothing. So my understanding of this is that last year they came out with a lot of these 3D projects, but they didn't assign them all to like one image set. So if you want to see all these projects, you really need to sort of do this search and click through. It's not in like the image set. I'll talk to Cricut about that because I think it should be in an image set. And I just thought I would, kind of mention that. Anyway, so today we're going to make this, but I want to point out on the directions, it says the finished sunflower is approximately 11 inches, which is huge, right? That's a lot. If you think about it, it's like this big. I don't need a sunflower this big. I don't even need a sunflower this big, but I would like a smaller one. But we're doing, what I have done is I've changed it. So let's go to my projects and look for that project that I've resized. And then once we're done talking about that, I'm going to move straight into doing the assembly because it does take quite a while to do it. So here's the 3D sunflower that I created from that project. And you'll notice that I have 3 different sizes. This is the original size. Okay. And this is my medium and this is my small. For today's demonstration, I've cut out the medium. If you were going to cut out the large size one, it does use a lot of paper. Let me just show you. We're going to make it. And here you go. You need 3 sheets of 12 by 12 in brown, 3 sheets of the sunflower color yellow, 3, and 2 sheets of green. And I didn't have that much. I tend to not have that much brown and yellow. It seems like those 2 colors are very difficult to come by. So I just didn't want to use that up. Plus, I was thinking I would like to use this for a wreath. Now, this is a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. This is the medium size. So the next one I do, maybe I'll do small. Maybe I'll make a couple of smalls. But putting together is a bit labor intensive. So don't do this when you are feeling frustrated. Do it when you're having a really patient day. Okay, so here are the brown pieces. Actually, this part here, this is going to be sort of like the plate that all of these sit on. Okay, and there's 2 different sizes. And then as far as the leaves go, I'm kind of keeping them in piles because they do differ in size by a tiny bit. So there's the large and there's medium, which is just slightly smaller. So I guess what I'm getting at, and there's the small. I guess what I'm getting at is if you mix this part up a little bit, that's okay. Okay, it's okay. And then we have the 3 bases that the small, medium, and large bases that these are going to go on. And then, of course, we have the greens for the back. So let's focus a little bit on the, first we'll do the brown pieces, okay? The first thing that we have to do, and there are, I think, 6 of each of these, which I found to be a lot. But the first thing we have to do, you notice that they're all scored like in the middle. So we have to fold these all the way down. And unfortunately, there's no score lines. I think I might want to put some score lines on these because it would make it easier to press down. And honestly, you could use this kind of a tool. However, be careful because you could end up ripping your paper. Okay, so I am just folding all of these. I'll do that kind of fast. And I just made like a little pile over here. So let me fold all of these. Just like that. No glue, just fold, okay? And so while I was doing this, I was researching about sunflowers because they're in a lot of historical things. You see them a lot of times in religious, like 16th century religious things like books and stuff or paintings. The Impressionist artists, like the people like Monet, and who else is there? I forget my Impressionist painters, but they literally obsessed over sunflowers, and for good reason. Sunflowers are just so stunning and striking to see. Have you ever driven by a field of sunflowers? Oh my gosh, I have. And I have been just like stunned it's so amazing to me what a whole field of sunflowers look like. And actually, last year I had one sunflower in my yard, was in the back, and I just watched that thing grow and grow and grow. And then the beautiful thing about it is it becomes seeds for the birds and everything. So I just think it's so lovely. It's a beautiful flower, and we're going to try to replicate that with this. It is hard. I have seen a couple of others. In fact, I believe one of the outside designers, I've done their sunflowers before, and I liked the size, but I kind of didn't like the inside of it. I don't know if you've been with me a while, you know who I'm talking about. So I really, really liked this flower, and I just wanted to make it a little bit smaller because it's so big. This still is a pretty big flower. You know, if you count the leaves, it's still like about 10 inches, but the actual size of the flower about 8.5, 9 inches. Okay. So I'm almost done with this part. And you'll take your time. You'll do better, you know, because you'll take your time with this. So I just want to try to keep it within our time frame. And so here we have our two piles. This one is the shorter one, and this one is the large one. We'll put those aside. We'll have here the bottom, as I mentioned, is kind of like the plate where all this stuff is going to sit. And if you have a scraper or a bone folder or whatever, you're going to just slightly curl that so that the inside is going to be cupped by that piece. I don't know if you can see it, but it is really cute. So let's go ahead and do that. Now let's deal with these leaves or petals. Did you know? I did not. So I found this out when I was doing some research. Did you know that the individual petals of a sunflower are called rays, Rays, because they are indeed like the sun. They're big and they're bold and they're nourishing, and they're just happy and cheery. So that is, I don't know, a lot of people love sunflowers because of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these. So there's the large. So we're going to coordinate them with the leaf size. Okay. So I did mine a little bit weird. So I ended up pushing out the leaves, but I'll show you how I was doing it. So you'll notice that at the end of each of these petals, there is a little tiny slit. So you're going to take your glue and put a little dot here on one side of the slit, and then you're going to fold it over like this. Now, when I read the directions for this, it said don't do the fold over as much, but I decided to do all of the leaves that way. Okay, so I'm just going to go through. There's 12 petals for each of the circles, so that means you're going to cut 36 of these. Okay. And we will do the glue gun in a little bit. I just didn't want to plug it in too soon because then I get burned. You know me and glue guns. So it's a little bit hard. So I think these would look fabulous on a wreath, especially this medium or the small size. So that was my intention. It would also look really good on a flower wall. So one day, I think maybe next spring, we're going to do a big flower wall because I just think that would be fun. And I've seen other product experts do that. So I really want to do that too. Maybe we'll do it with crepe paper. Crepe paper, though, can only be cut with the maker, or you do it by hand. Or maybe we'll all do all different. I don't know. Write something in the chat and I'll do it. Now, with tomorrow being our last day, I actually have two cards for you. One is a redo. So here's the card we're going to do. That's a redo. And the other one is a sunflower card that that I put together that I think you'll like, with a beautiful inscription or sentiment on the inside. It's a quote, and I just really loved it. So I had to put it on a card. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow you're going to get 2 projects. And we'll have some to give away. These I can't give away, unfortunately, because I don't know how I would ship them. So today, no prizes. However, I got a notification this morning that the August giveaways last day is today. So by midnight tonight, if you haven't already, or even if you have, make sure you put your name in so that you might win a prize. This month's prizes are a Cricut hat press with some extra doodads that you can work with. And then there's a Easy Press Mini. It's a bundle, Easy Press Mini bundle that is just awesome. Has tons of extras in there. I think it also includes that little, I think 8x10 Easy Press mat, which I just love. And I love the mini. I've actually used the mini on inside of my cards. So this is the card for tomorrow. You notice it has the mini there. So there you go. And let's see what else. So definitely go ahead and get your name in. I will put the description or the whole rigmarole, the whole rigmarole. That's such an old word. I will put the whole instruction part in the description of the video. If I can. I say that because Facebook keeps making changes where you can't edit, and so I can't edit the description of my past videos right now. So hopefully that will change soon. I don't know why they did that, but they did. That's how Facebook is. They just make these changes and that's it. They don't even consult with anybody. So whatever. So tomorrow's project, we're going to be using, for all those people that bought the paper, this let me just stop and show you what I'm talking about. So this was on sale as well. So I don't know if it's still available, but it's called Sampler, Cardstock Sampler Fall. And it has 5 sheets of each color, and there's 6 colors, I think. I might be wrong about the numbers, but it has black, purple, green, yellow, which is the yellow that I used here. Okay. And the green I think I used as well. So the only thing that I had to get from my cardstock collection was the brown, which also came from Cricut, but it was sold in a brown 12 by 12 cardstock. I don't know if that's still available. Guys, I'm like kind of freaking out because they don't have a whole lot of cardstock these days. And I've mentioned it, and they're like, yes, we know. So maybe you might want to put the pressure on and say, hey, you know what? Because I'm just one person. So if you want to see more cardstock and all the different colors, I think it's probably a good idea if you maybe told somebody at Cricut or post it on their group or something, because they don't seem to listen to me. So I'm like, I'm a paper crafter and I'll do whatever it takes to show you how to use the vinyl and the iron-on and stuff. And I love those things, but I always come back to the paper. I always come back to the paper. You did? You got, it was $5 on clearance for that paper. I don't know if it's still available though, but it's called the Sampler Fall. All right. So I'm almost halfway done. This is good. I'm making good time. And I'm plugging in let me plug in my, hold on, plugging in my glue gun. So I do not do glue guns very well, just don't. And so you'll have to pardon me because I'm sure to probably burn myself. And you notice that I probably could have used the glue gun for this part of the project, but I feel so much more comfortable doing it in regular glue. So I'm almost done. I have one more pile to do. So, yep, yesterday my son started school. Owen started school, and he's so excited. He came home at 2:15. The bus dropped him off, even though it didn't pick him up. The bus dropped him off at 2:15. They get out at like 10 minutes of 2. So that was what, a 20-minute, 25-minute commute. I'm going to say 20 because they have to take time to get on the bus and everything. Whereas when he went to school at the private school, it was taking, let's see, his school would get out at 3 or quarter of 3 or something. And then he wouldn't be home sometimes until 4:30, 5 o'clock. So this usually doesn't make a difference on days like this. But when the sun starts changing and it becomes that daylight savings time of day, he was coming home and it was pitch black out. It was just awful. So I'm so glad that he forced me to make this change. I wasn't gonna like push it because that education at that school was so fabulous. Not that it's not fabulous at the high school, but it was very small. And I think that extra one-on-one time really helped him be, be a better student, a better kid, that sort of thing. And he was pretty psyched because he got his old bus driver from when he was in camp, and he had the bus driver name is Jen. So Jen, she loves my cards, and he said, "Mom, guess what? That lady that was a bus driver when we were in elementary school is also the bus driver because she's been there. She's been in transportation for a very long time." So anyway, he was pretty psyched. He was like he had to. So it's not substantially separate in terms of the classes. Some of the classes are still for kids that might have IEPs. And then other classes are actual high school classes, including the ROTC class. So there's an ROTC class, which I think that's pretty awesome. All right, so I've finished these. And now I'm going to glue them on here. And I'm going to be making 3 actual like cups, and we'll push them out later. So you can see there's the 3 that we're making. 1, 2, 3. I probably should have moved it over so that the sunflower was full, but I didn't. I'll do it this time. Hopefully my glue gun is getting warmed up. Okay, it is. So what we're going to do is take each of the petals and we're going to glue them to here. So I'm going to just put a little tiny dollop, bead, whatever you want to call it, of the glue, and then I'm just going to press down. Now I know that they're sort of standing up, but we'll press them down once we have it all together. So I'm working in like three petals at a time. That seems to be working. So we'll do that with this. Just keep doing it. And then also my cousins, whom I love and adore, they're older than me. In fact, they remember me when I was born. And so they're lovely. I love their parents. My father was best friends with his sister. And so I felt like it was kind of like we were channeling a little family vibe there, which I just loved. And we had tea and we just talked, caught up. My cousin Karen has 5 kids, and now almost all of them are married or getting married, and almost all of them have children. So she has 11 grandchildren. I don't know how she does it. But the thing is also she's a nurse. She trained at BC, and she made her way to Beverly Hospital. And in the news, if you are local, you might have heard that Beverly Hospital, which is the home to the only standalone birth center in the state is trying to close the birth center. So I asked her about that, and she said that everybody's involved now, all the local politicians and everybody is around now. So hopefully they can keep it open. And they're saying that they don't have staffing, but my cousin actually works out of there, and she teaches classes on breastfeeding. And actually, when Owen, this funny story, when Owen was born, he was born in the other hospital, Salem Hospital. This is out of Beverly Hospital. He was born, and the nurses there, for some reason, I don't want to, say anything bad, but they really didn't want me to breastfeed Owen. I don't know if it was because he was born with not breathing, but he was fine after that. But they had him in like the neonatal unit for the first couple of days, and I really wanted to breastfeed him, and they kind of discouraged it and didn't spend a lot of time with me. So I called my auntie at the time and I said, Auntie, oh, I need Karen. And Karen came right on over to the hospital. And I just love this because the nurses were like, no, they were all, and she was from Beverly Hospital, but she has a name for herself. Everybody knew her from her breastfeeding classes, and she does like a support group twice a week. Even during COVID, she did it by Zoom. And so everybody sort of knew her. And I said, no, my cousin is a nurse and she works at the birth center in Beverly. And then they all just said, oh, okay. And my cousin, which come to think about it, I was still in the hospital and my cousin came into the hospital. I don't think they would do this today, but she came into the hospital and she worked with me, coached me with Owen, and helped me out and told me all about, pumping and all of that stuff. And it's a little bit different now. I mean, Owen was born in 2005, but still this, there was this whole thing like, oh, if you can't breastfeed, that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Nowadays they're saying, yeah, you got to breastfeed. And so there you go. No, it's not Lalesh League. I don't know if she's associated with it, but everybody on the North Shore knows her, my cousin Karen Arnold. And if you're local and you had a baby, either in Salem or even in Beverly mostly, she does teach these classes, and I just love it. And she's been very pro breastfeeding for her whole life. Plus, she's a nurse, so she knows. And in fact, my other cousin, Elaine, is a radiologist. So when I was explaining all of the stuff that was happening with me, she understood, like when I went for that biopsy last week. Oops, I did this wrong. I put the glue on wrong. So when we went for the biopsy last week, I explained to her, and she goes, oh, okay, did it hurt? And how do they do it? And we're talking about it. So these women, and they've known me since I was born, which is kind of funny because my Auntie Anna was years older than my dad. And so she had her kids well before my dad and my mom had kids. And so actually my dad, who was in the reserves, was in the reserves on training for a while or something, I don't know, a month. And I just found out. And my mother was pregnant with my older sister, and she was due. She was like a little past due. It was her first baby. And Karen used to take walks with her down to the PB Square just so that she would give birth. And so there was a whole family thing trying to give. And of course, my uncle, Sal, was a well-known fireman here in Peabody for his entire career. And before that, he was a Marine. So really just giving wonderful people there, just lovely people. Okay, so I'm going to let the glue stick for a little bit longer. I see one of my leaves, and it's okay that it's poking up, okay? So anyway, so they were really great, and they understood how I'm eating mostly plant-based foods and I'm not eating sugar. And so that's been really helpful. That was really helpful to me. Okay. Now I'm going to try to see. I think this is the large one. Yeah. So this is the large, medium, and this is the small one. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to take the flowers, or each of the, I don't know what you call them, the layer of flowers, and I'm putting a little bit of glue down in them and pressing down. Be careful of your fingers. Now, as I said, again, we're going to push these out. Don't worry about it, but let's get the glue in there. Okay. And again, if you get the sizes wrong, which I think I might just have done, that's okay. It really is such a small difference that it's really not going to show too well. So while I'm holding this, I figure I will just push out these petals, these rays. Isn't that great? Rays. What a great thing. It makes total sense to me, because they're sunflowers. So the petals are called rays. Isn't that great? All right. So now you see we have, and I didn't glue this one very well, so let me do that again. We see the flower coming open, and that is okay, but we'll open it some more when everything sets up. Okay. As far as the green pieces, you can take your whatever, this, I use my extra large scraper, but you can use whatever you want, and just give it some life, because paper has all these fibers, so it's easily manipulated, and it just looks fabulous on made out of flowers. Now, they make flowers out of a lot of different things, including crepe paper and tissue paper. They also do text weight paper. One of the people that I really admire is Leah Griffith. She has a her own, it's like a membership. All she does pretty much is flowers. So so if you are really interested in flowers, I would encourage you to check her out. Although she has some freebies, but she also has like a membership, and she does all different things: felt animals, felt food. Okay, so now we're on to constructing the middle part, the part that's supposed to look like sunflower seeds. So I've seen this done in all kinds of ways. I think this is my favorite way, because it really does look like this with the depression. It does look like it has a depression in the middle, so that's why I use the smaller ones. So we're going to start with the smaller ones. All right, so we're going to start with the small ones. Now, the direction suggests that you put in a piece of floral wire, and that's fine. You can do that, but personally, I would rather roll it like a quill if you can get that piece in there. Okay, just to get it started. See that? And I'm just rolling this up. I'm going to roll it all the way up. Try to keep it as tight as possible. So technically, I guess this is a rolled flower. You can take it out once it starts to get too bulky. And then what I'm going to do is just continue to roll this. Now, it's important that it is close. It's not loose, because a lot of people do their rolled flowers and they let them loose. We don't want to do that. So when you get to the end, we're going to just put a dollop of glue, trying not to burn myself. And then I'm going to pick up the next piece, and I'm just going to put, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 of these smaller pieces. This gets rather large. So again, this is the part that I would suggest that if you do not have patience for this project today, not that you can't have patience some other day, but don't try to do this when you're rushed or just don't have the patience. Okay, so you notice I put a little bit more glue on and I started rolling. I'm going to roll it so you can see the bottom, because it's a little hard. Cricut cardstock is pretty thick. It's like 80-pound weight. So so you really have to be diligent about this part, or else the whole flower is going to kind of look a little wonky, you know. But either way, whatever you do, you know, as I always say, it's really important just to do it, to make and be creative. I really do think creativity is the way that we can stave off depression, anxiety, loneliness. I mean, we started this whole video thing. I started this whole video thing back in 2020, and it was because I was scared. First of all, I was scared because of COVID. But second of all, I was scared because I had just gotten my first cancer diagnosis. It was breast cancer. And I found out the day before the kids were actually sent home. So it's March 13th. Because I remember having had gone for a biopsy and everything. And so I was waiting on that. And then this whole thing started. It kind of was like dominoes. But first the school, we're going to be closed just on Monday so we can clean the school. And then it was, well, we're going to take a week and really clean the school. And then they were like, you know what? We're going to all the kids are dismissed for right now until we figure out what's going on. So then I had a kid who like, what do I do? And I'm like, I guess you're on vacation. And they had just had a February vacation. So it was like, I don't know. And then 1 week turned into months. And I started this blog after the launch of, well, I don't know, vlog or whatever it is. I started this show after the launch of The Joy, because The Joy launched that March, I think, March or April. And so I started doing videos with The Joy, it from my kitchen. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Hi, who's that? Nikki? Nisi. Hi, Nisi. Yeah. So I started doing this as just on a whim. I'd been a product expert for quite a while, but I was a little scared to do video. And I thought I was too old, to be honest. So I went into, because everybody's young. So I went into, this video thing just on Facebook, because I knew that Facebook was more people my age. So I just did it on Facebook. And we had such a great time that year. Such a great time. I made some great friends, including Dawn Walsh and Bren and Shelly Hetherington and all of that. And the whole time I kept thinking, I'm not really good at this, but but I'm having fun and it's keeping my anxiety at bay. And then when I would go in for treatments, I would do like a little video or I would post about what happened and everything. And then by sort of the end of the end of 2020, I started finishing up my treatment, and I was given the all clear by November, and I was cancer free. And I went through that with you guys, and it, some of you, maybe not you, but some of you, yes. I still see Dawn and Shelly and Bren and Shirley and Lynn. Remember Lynn? Yeah. It was really honestly, it was the only thing that kept me sane through the shutdown, because what would happen is I would just come up with ideas. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make this. And quite literally in the morning before, I would just be like, oh, I'm going to do this today. Oh, by the way, this here is, I'm kind of not doing it all great, but here is all the small pieces rolled. Okay. So I really I wasn't looking to be, now I start with the big pieces. I wasn't looking to be, the next huge thing on Instagram or YouTube. I kept it very low key, and we just kind of muddled through and had a little bit of fun in the process. And I really do think we helped a lot of people just kind of stay sane. I know it helped me. It was really kind of selfish of me, but I was like, no, I got to do something. And so I brought you all along with me, and it really did help me keep my composure during that time. And then it sort of ended in January, but the COVID was still going around, and wouldn't you know it, 2021, even though my cancer was gone, it was still all these cancer protocols, including my Y was still closed most of 2021, and I am a swimmer, so I was like, what am I going to do to keep myself occupied while the Y was closed? And so I just said, I'm just going to continue doing this, and we'll call it Cricut Chat with MISSRITA. But before it didn't have a title. I just came on and I didn't have it scheduled. Now everything is scheduled, and we try to use all the things that everybody, before I just picked what I wanted to do. And then I was like, no, I think I'm going to get a little more specific and find out what people want. And that's what brought us to this day. And I still am true to my paper crafting ways. I've been a paper crafter for a very long time, and so I wanted to keep doing paper crafting. But then uh, we have the all the other stuff, like the easy press and everything I looked at, I was like, yeah, I could figure out how to make paper projects with these things. And so I have, and that's been a whole lot of fun. And I've been a Cricut product expert since 2014, but that time period from 2020 to just recently, it was a good time, because in addition to hooking up with you guys, I also made some really great friends of the product experts, and including Carol Prevost and Melody Lane and Abigail and Paulette. And so I felt like I had double, like, and of course Brittany, who is my contact person at Cricut. So it felt really good to have so many friends and people that I could say, I need some good juju today. I need some positive vibes. And they would give it to me. You guys would give it to me, or that group. It was just fun. And so this sort of post-COVID world, I've continued to do the paper crafting, and I love it. I did at one point think, well, maybe I should get a real job now that my son is actually grown, because you guys know that, like, I was home from working when he was younger, because I'm a single mom. And so there was nobody to take care of him. And since has an autism diagnosis, that was me. So I quit my job. I closed my shop, and I didn't really have a shop. I was more of a seller at sales and stuff. But I stopped making my soap because then I had to do that in the basement and I couldn't. I had to close it up. My dad was really sad when I closed it because he really loved that I was my own boss kind of thing. But I think he'd be happy now. I think he would be happy now because after a few years of taking care of Owen, once he finally got into a routine at school, I could do something more full time. But I don't think I'll ever go back in an office because it's so restricting. I don't know how people do that every day. And, I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I like completely understand that people do it. But for me, I just don't think I'll ever be back in an office. And for that, that's okay for me. All right. We got the last piece on here. Oh my gosh. We're doing good on time. I hope you guys don't mind me chit-chatting, but it is called Cricut Chat, right? Okay, so there's my last piece. And you see, this is the bottom. So I'm just going to hold this for a second and turn it over. And there is the top. Does that not look like the inside of a sunflower? The base where all of those beautiful yummy seeds live, and they produce all kinds of food for animals outside. And all I'm doing now is I'm just kind of flicking these out a little bit just to give it some thickness. But you see how tight I put it in? Now, it's not completely flat here. That's okay, because now we're going to take this and we are going to flood it with some glue and press down, have it be in the middle. And this is where we're going to press down to make sure our flower doesn't fall apart from the inside out, because that's a potential. So let's do that. You can see that it's right in the middle. And now we have our leaves, and we are going to sort of nestle it in on the inside of that by putting the glue here. And nestle in. You have to push down pretty hard because you want it to have that shape. And my flowers are kind of, the leaves, the rays are kind of in the way, but I'm not going to push them all down just yet. Let's just get this piece in there. All right. So while that's happening, I'm just having the petals sort of move out. I could wait, but we're stuck on time. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, all right, Judy. A farm would be good. An ambulance would be good. I just need, and I can be task driven, but when I worked as an executive in e-commerce, so computer commerce, so think the beginning stages of Amazon, because that's what it was. It was just so meetings, and talking. And I like to talk, but I really love to do, and so I would take on projects and I'd be like, I can do that. But and then I would just immerse myself in that project. Now I had one leaf that came out, so I'm just pushing it, gluing it back in there, and then we'll do the back, and you can see how this flower has formed. Okay, so this is the back, and it's going to cup this so it hides this ugliness, right? But before we do that, I did use my my scraper to make the leaves a little bit rounded. And now I'm going to glue the leaves. Now you can leave the leaves out if you want, but I wouldn't leave out this back piece because it really does hide that. So I'm going to glue the leaves. And actually for a sunflower, I think that the leaves generally go like parallel each other, but because, well, it's not a real sunflower, we're going to do it like this. Now, I think this size is a little too big for my wreath, but I don't know. I might try it. I was thinking of making a sunflower wreath because I love wreaths. All right, and there's our back piece. You see, you can actually put it on that way, but I think it looks more authentic that way. So we're just gonna put a little bit of glue on there and press down. Don't put it on the tips of it. Press down. Let's turn it around and press again so everything is really in there. This leaf doesn't want to stay. And you can either use your little scraper if you want, but I think I just kind of just flattened it out, or I know I just flattened it out until I got an open sunflower. So that's my original one, and that's my finished one, my second one. So I gotta deal with this. Still, this petal keeps wanting to come out. I think it's just this petal. I don't know. So I hope you attempt this. If you're going to attempt it, just like with the roses that we've done, it's probably a good idea to make it smaller, because if you only have 3 sheets of brown, then not so great. If you use them all up in making a really big sunflower. And then I don't know. I mean, these are pretty. If I made a couple more, I could make a whole wreath. Or if I made a couple more that were smaller, I could put the flowers sort of side by side each other. That kind of thing. And oh, hi, Delia. Oh, Delia is saying that the group has helped her with her English because she's in Puerto Rico and people don't want to speak English on Facebook. They don't want to speak English on Facebook. Oh, interesting, Delia. That's interesting. Cool. Thank you for learning our language. I appreciate you. I do. So again, here's the file. I'm going to show you how to make this file public in the community now. Okay. So once you have the file, and again, it started off as a project from Cricut, and it actually already has a name, 3D Sunflower, but I see that little asterisk, so I'm going to save it because something changed. Maybe it was because I hid the other sizes or whatever. So now I want to share this. And again, remember, this came from another project by Cricut, but that's okay because I made changes to it. And even if you don't make changes to it, you put your own personal touch in those projects, and somebody else would probably like to see it. So I would click on the name here, and first I'm not going to yet do the toggle switch, but I want to enter like maybe a picture and project detail. So I'm going to go on here and I'm going to hit plus for the photo. And, my computer's a little slow, but it goes to all my photos here. I thought I had a lot of photos until I was talking to my friend Molly, and she had like 3 times what I had. But most of my projects are projects. Most of my photos are projects or dogs or my dogs. Anyway, so here I put my own picture in, which is great. And I can put another one. There's even a little place where you can get some ideas on how to create a quality photo on your photos. Okay. So that's when you click on this photo tip. Now, if you happen to bring this in and it was by accident or it was rotated upside down, there's a rotate button that will allow you to rotate, or you can delete from here. And then you can change your project name and put a little bit about it, and then even add tags. You see, so I added a 3D flower. Those are tags. So when somebody is looking for something, if they type in 3D flower in the community, this one is going to pop up. So I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to go back once this is saved. I'm going to go back to the front page, and now I'm going to make it public. I have to agree to the terms of service and the privacy policy. So I hit OK, and then we get the confetti shower. And let's go on over to my my community profile, which I find up here in the top left. And let's have a look at mine. And you should find that sunflower at the top, and there it is. So far I've got 442 projects here in community. I'm actually slowly going through them all because not all of them have pictures. So if you see something like this without a picture, it's because I probably made it public too soon and I didn't actually have a show about it. So you see here, these are all things that we've done. And yeah, all these things that we've done. I have to go in and put the photos of them in. Remember, we did the happy birthday project. We did this beautiful piece snowflake card. So there's quite a lot. And then if you want to, let's go back to the canvas. If you want to pick something, go to projects and use all categories and choose Cricut Community. Once I pick Cricut Community, I can then do a search. So I'll type in 3D and do search. And let's see what comes up. All these, look at all of these 3D instructional projects. Beautiful. So wonderful. Look at the fox and these lovely flowers, 3D stars. Where's mine? Where's mine? Oh, look at, there's 3D pumpkins. I think that's from Cricut. It says community member. Not sure why it doesn't say the name, but I'll find something that has my name on it. And we have to do these chrysanthemums. So I'm going to save this one. And I might have a look at this woman, Barbara, and see how many projects she has. And maybe I should follow her. Yeah. Let's follow Barbara Divell. She has 75 followers, and now she's going to have 76. And look, she's done beautiful sunflowers and other things as well. So if the sunflower is part of Cricut Community, like these two are, if any of these projects. So I recognize these two projects. These are not part of the community. They're done by Dreaming Tree, but these two are from the community. So they get that A in there. And what that means is if you click on one that is not with the A, you can look, I guess you can look, but you can't download it. So so I'm not sure, what the purpose of her doing that there, but she looks like she's a flower fan, so she might be someone to follow. All right, everyone, that's it for me. Hey, Kirsten. Hi, Jamie. There are so many great projects in the community. If you haven't yet built your profile, seriously, it's so easy. Come up here to those three, they look like a hamburger. They're three long dashes, and you can just go to your name and hit view profile. And then you can see if you want to make your profile public. If you don't, that's okay. You don't need to. Mine's public because, well, I do this for a living. And so, and then if you put something in there and you realize, so here's public, here's private. If you want to change your name, so I changed mine from my actual name to my brand name. And then I put a little thing in here about me, including a link to my YouTube channel. I indicate where I'm from, and it shows the date when I started, which was 2012. In November, I'll be celebrating my 10 years on Design Space. Oh, we're going to have to do something fun about that. So I hope you get into the community. It's a bit of a rabbit hole. There's a lot there, but you can really learn a lot from me and from others. And I would just love it if you could follow me. We made it to 800. Now we're past 800. Let's do 1,000 by next week. 1,000 by next week. If you haven't followed me, follow me. Oh, of course, your Canadian family. Yeah, a boot. A boot. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed today, and I did do a lot of chatting, so if it's not for you, I'm sorry. I don't usually chat that much. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a sunflower card and this gorgeous, let's go down here so you can see this gorgeous geometric card. And I put in here, this is from the, I kind of messed up the S, but I'm only telling you guys that. But it says autumn is a second spring where every leaf is a flower. Now this card, this stuff here was in the, is this it? It was the rose gold HTV that was in rose gold iron-on or HTV that was in our fall is in the air mystery box. So we're using that stuff again. And then what else? We're doing a sunflower card that I created because I wanted to give you guys some projects to do for the week. So I hope you can come back tomorrow. And remember, today's the very last day to get your name in for the giveaway. And I want you to be among the winners or among the people that are doing it. It is me, I guess, Linda. All right, everybody. I love this geometric card. I've done it before, but this one I actually did with a paper pack that I got from Michael's. So I want to show you how to do it, and I'm going to show you the paper pack. The paper pack is called Spice Market. Here it is. And I actually ordered a bunch online from Michael's. So this is called Spice Market. They've had it for a long time. It is a really nice sampler. You could also use the fall sampler, but those are 12 by 12. And with my cards, I like to use 8.5 by 11. So if you are shopping at Michael's, you can find this. It's by Recollections, and it's called Spice Market, and it makes awesome cards. So it cuts beautifully with all of the Cricut machines. So that will be tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Oh, it's okay, Pat. The important thing is that I've been through it. I've been through it. Now, Mom's on her way here. She'll be here any minute. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to have some fun. She's going to come in and want to do my dishes, which I let her do. And she likes to fold laundry. So we do that. And we're getting ready, or trying to get ready, to welcome her into the house by October 1st. And then she can spend the holidays with us. And I just not really feeling super secure about her being over there by herself. It's not a secure facility, and she has demonstrated that I don't know what's going on with this leaf, or maybe it's a different leaf every time. I don't know, but it's a little weird. So she's demonstrated that she can't really live independently. So she's coming to live with me for a few months. And then after the first of the year, probably go into a nice memory care unit or nursing home, because she does need it. So that's it for me. All right. So we'll see you again tomorrow. And hi, Kirsten. Yeah, I'm a strong woman. Yes, I am. And I do have a second cancer diagnosis, but you know what? It's not stopping me. And this group is helping me. Having something to do pretty much every day is really all about helping me. But I'm so glad that I help others in the process. So that's just kind of like how I live my life. Is I want to help others, and I want to really just teach people how they can be creative, even if they don't think they can be, and they can do it all with a Cricut. Isn't that great? So, all right, we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Get some crafting in. It's good for your soul. All right.